Kirk. What brings you to France after all these years?
First of all, I came to France for my studies. Then after my studies, I realized that I was very attracted to migrants' rights. So I decided to do my studies in this field. And finally, I ended up in Saint-Omer protecting young miners who are coming from all over the world.
So what are some of the reasons they come to this small town in the countryside, of all places?
For diverse and general reason, from nationality, let's take for example the Afghan people. Generally, they're trying to flee,
Oh yeah, to run away.
to run away from the war, the Taliban. If we go more in West Africa, they are running away from the, how do we say it in English? La belle-mère.
Stepmothers?
The stepmothers. In Guinea, it's the stepmothers. It's generally the case because they are very mean to them. That doesn't explain really why they are going so far. But if we look at it deeply, it's more because of some change. They want some change. They want to leave their country to have better life for some diverse reason.
So I'm wondering, once the young folks get here, what does it take for them to feel like they are accepted? What does it take for them to feel like they belong? How does that happen?
When they come here, let's take Saint-Omer example. The first people that they see, it's us. So it's us who need to make them feel that they're at home. But us is not only me who's black and look at like them, because my colleagues are French, they're coming from Afghanistan, they're coming from Eritrea, they're coming from all over the world. So when they first come here, they can approach some educator or some people coming from their area to make them feel secure.
Okay.
After they leave this place, they are like living around, and this is very difficult for them because generally they are not accepted by the local people living here because they have prejudices. Some prejudices about them, and it's not easy to fight. In the meantime, there is some family who are taking young miners and taking them. Comment ça se dit? Qui les prend comme si c'était leurs enfants.
Okay, so there are some families that adopt the
That
kids.
adopt them, yeah. And taking care of them like they were their own.
Remind me what ages we're talking about.
Between 13 and 17.
Oh, okay.
Between 13 and 17. Generally between 16 and 17 at least.
And remind me, did they fly here or they take a boat?
Never plane. We are so lucky to take plane because they don't know what is a plane. They take the road. Let's take an example. Someone coming from Ivory Coast will go to Senegal, will go after to Mali. After Mali, they will go to Morocco. After Morocco, they will go to Algeria. After Algeria, they will go to Libya. And in Libya, they will see terrible thing. I can explain if you want later. They will stay there approximately between 6 months and 1 year before taking. It's not even a boat, it's the plastic thing. Until a certain point, and they will be saved by a big Italian boat that will bring them to the Italian coast.
Wow.
And once they arrive there, they start another part of their migratory
Sure.
All of them, though, generally the West African will decide to come in France, and people who speak English, they will decide to come to Calais so they can go to England.
Oh. Okay.
It all depends on the language that they speak and where they feel more at ease.
Wow. Oh man, that's quite a story. And you said, do they have to pay to go from Libya to Italy?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally, when they arrive in Libya, they're facing terrible thing because they are prisoned into a place where they get beaten, séquestré. Séquestré. It's
But
like,
they're set off aside by the police, or
no, by some Libyans that are just terribly mean and calling the family of the person so they can send money so he or she can go,
Okay.
go to continue the migratory flow.
Okay. So the Libyan guy will tell the kid to call his family,
Yes.
and then
The family will send a certain amount so he can be free.
okay, and then the kid will pay the smuggler.
The smuggler, the parents don't generally send the money to the kids,
Okay.
but to the smuggler.
Oh.
And then the smuggler will take this money and just decide to take the children and put him in a bateau qui ne sert à rien. quoi, tu
Yeah,
vois.
like a really small boat, not
Yeah.
really a boat.
With a lot of person, and then they will go to Spain or in Italy.
And how about yeah, okay. I was gonna say, how about the numbers? Like, for example, in Saint Omer, how many kids are we talking about?
Since I came, I did approximately 400 interview, and in this 400 there is 300 and let's say 15 that got protected, but they don't generally live in Saint Omer.
Oh,
After they live in the whole department,
okay,
Dunkerque, Boulogne,
Oh.
Calais,
okay,
Béthune,
okay.
not only in Saint Omer.
Oh. And then, well, how about for you? How about for Papi Joe? How do you find yourself here in France? Was it easy to adjust here? Do you feel accepted? Do you feel like, is there something?
When I first came, it was not easy because I came with all of a lot of innocence. I was so happy when I first came here, and I was really ready to learn a lot, and I was seeing life differently. That was 8 years ago, or 7. And it was a challenge to still keep this cultural side of me here, because here I have everything that can qui peut me défaire dévier, tu vois. Comment on dit dévier en anglais?
Oh, you can deviate. You can be yourself. No, that's wrong.
No, there's so many amusement.
Oh, okay. There's just a lot of ways to have fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
here then sometimes it's very easy to just forget where you're from, who you really are, what you really come to do here. You see, and it was always hard to just remember every time. Oh, don't forget that you come here for your study. Okay, you can have fun a little bit, but maybe not too much, So I'm just trying to keep certain part of me, this cultural side of me, this cultural aspect of me, and not throwing it away just because I'm in this country. And this is it was very hard before,
Okay.
And after I have this kind of French side that I developed related to human rights that I really didn't have in Senegal. Because in Senegal, for me, there were some rights that was just unacceptable because of the cultural sphere.
Okay.
And when I came here, I saw things slightly different because I'm working into human rights field.
Yeah.
So I understood more some rights, des droits.
Wow. Ok. En fait, je me rappelle au Sénégal, bien, chez nous, quelquefois les autres Sénégalais étaient taquinés un peu. Il y avait les ouvriers chez nous, et quand ils sont venus au travail, il y avait quelqu'un qui a dit "Hey, Parisien, bonjour." So they thought you were Parisian, even back in Senegal. What does that mean? Like, why would somebody joke with you about being too French back in Senegal?
Because at home, my family, they speak French at home. I was speaking French with my dad, I was speaking French with my grandmother sometimes, I was speaking French with my grandfather. So I was even more speaking French than I was speaking Wolof in my own country and in my own house. So for some friend of mine, they were like, "What the hell is happening here in this house? Are you Senegalese or are you French? Really? Because in all the house around they're speaking Wolof, and you're speaking French. Excuse me, sir, you stupid French people." But it's not that. It's just because my grandma was raised in a house where they were generally using the French language, and I think that she was trying to do the same with my dad, and my dad was trying to do the same with me. You see, and the accent that I used when I was speaking French at home was slightly different from the accent that Senegalese people use generally to speak French. You know?
Okay.
So they were like, something is going wrong here. You know?
So-
This is not normal. It's not normal. You were born maybe in Paris Premier Arrondissement, not in Senegal, right?
Is there any way you could try to give us an example of? So it's the same language, but it sounds different. Was it easy to think of an example, like a word choice or an accent?
You want me to do something? Okay. When American people they speak French, it's more like
Here we go.
je ne sais pas, partout où je viens. Tu vois, c'est très très puissant.
That's how you made fun of me the first time you said
Yeah,
c'est pas
totally.
c'est pas R.
It's
hey.
not ce n'est pas parce que je parle français.
Yeah, I got made fun of the first night
Yeah.
by my family. It's okay. It's a lot of love.
Yeah, but then after when the Senegalese they speak French, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to understand because the accent is very crazy. It can be like the V or Marseille.
Okay, so
The
instead of like
je and the z is a little bit confused. They say je. Sometimes in some part they say z.
yeah,
Station, for example, they won't say station, they will say station,
right.
right?
Do you remember how some of the people would pronounce my name in
Escot.
Escott?
Escot.
Or sometimes
They couldn't
like-
say the Scot. They say Escot because for them this intonation is weird. Come on, let's just say it. For them it's totally weird. They never heard it, so they will not make any effort to do it. So they just Escot. Like Fatou and
Yeah, I remember.
Daoud, how they were calling you.
You made fun of her one time. One of the women who worked at our house. She said, "C'est pas frigidaire. C'est frigidaire." Talking about the refrigerator. Okay, so oh, sorry. We have 1 minute left. Sorry, I just cut you off. So anything else you'd like to mention about belonging, or what are some of the best ways you have seen people belong in a new environment, or for yourself? What are the best ways that you felt like you belong, even if you still feel like different? Yeah.
When I go back to Senegal, I'm sad because you know when you go back in a country and you thought that you will find that everything will be so fine, that everything that you left there will be the same, and you just came in, everything had changed. It's not people who have changed, but your mentality have changed. So obviously, when you go back home, you don't see the same way. Things are not the same, and this is sometimes very harsh. So it means that when you go back there, you see things really very differently because you have lived in Europe and in France for so long that you don't now see the thing how your friends see it.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And on the same time, when you live here in France, there is some cultural aspect that you really missed in your country, and you don't know how you can just take it here, so you can sometimes feel that you are in home. So we are stuck in the middle. Like Senegalese were born in France, and you don't belong to France, and you don't belong to Senegal, because they are stuck in the middle. They don't know. They want the combination of the two, but they cannot have it. When they go back to Senegal, they say, "Oh, like my friends say, you are a white man, you are a bunti. You know the chocolate bunti, white inside and black around."
Okay.
And when you come here, they don't really consider you as a French because you're black skinned. So you don't really belong to them. So you're stuck in the middle, and sometimes trying to dance between the two cultures.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Poppy, for your time. It's been good to see you here. So,
Welcome.
yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
Of course, always.